is still a horror show, and that's why it's important that we make monster movies. And I'm grateful to be a part of making the first, in my opinion, absolutely scary Dracula film to come along in a very, very, very long time. I mean, you know what a huge fan I am of Dracula and the history of Dracula and Bram Stoker and all that stuff. We've talked about it before, but like the fact that I'm a part of not only a Dracula movie, it's a Universal Pictures Dracula movie, and the fact that it's going to be in cinemas and that people are going to get to go and be on the ship, the Demeter, which I've always dreamt of telling that story. It's like, and it's a really what's great about the film and the way that the ensemble was put together by Andre and the characters. It's this very international mix of people who sound different, look different. There's communication barriers, there's cultural barriers, there's all this stuff, but we're stuck together, and we're either going to start to communicate and work together, or we're going to let our egos get in the way, and we're going to let all this toxic BS get in the way. And then Dracula feeds upon that. Now, because it's a horror movie and because it's called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, I'll let the audience go ahead and guess what choices we make. But I love that. I think it's so cool.
I don't have high hopes for you, my friend, in this one, but
I mean, have you seen my what do you call it? My resume, or my if you look at my CR of my characters, how many of them proportionally live? If you were in Vegas and you're like, okay, we're going to a Dave Dastmalchian movie, what are the odds that he makes it to the final credits? I wouldn't bet on me.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm so excited that you're you get to be the first mate in this as well, and just everything, because anyone who knows anything about you, even like peripherally, it's like you are a true blue monster kid, born and raised. And not only, like you said, it's a Dracula movie, it's a universal Dracula movie. If you're a monster kid, you're just like, what? Like
it's insane. It's insane. Let me I'll show you something really quick. I'm in my office, which is my little monster cave. Oh, look, here's one of the models I did with the kids over the pandemic. We got back into like old school monster modeling.
Hell yeah.
But here's my certificate of authenticity from the Warren Publishing Company for this vial of dirt from Dracula's castle, which is contained in a coffin amulet.
Amazing
gift from my dear friend Jeremy Miller, which then I re-gifted to Andre Overdahl when we were about to start filming The Last Voyage of the Demeter, because as much as I'm a science-based guy, much more like Clement's Corey Hawkins character in The Last Voyage of the Demeter, I'm still superstitious. And I'm still ready at any given time for, lycanthropy to be proven real or whatever. So having some Dracula dirt on the boat with us was pretty cool.
That is amazing. I love that little tidbit. I'm all for science as well, but I'm also like, I don't fuck with things I don't know about. So I'm like, I don't know if I would say superstitious, but I'm like, I'm not a fuck around and find out. I'm like, let's just leave that and respect it over there,
I'm a mix. It depends on the day of the week. It depends where my anxiety levels are at, how much therapy I've been doing. But there are certain days I'm like, ooh, that looks like, what do you think's behind that door? And Eve's like, no, why would you even, why?
You're a horror fan, better. Yeah. David,
and then there's the part of me that's the first one that knows, oh, I'm getting the hell out of here. But truly, Angel, like Fangoria and Universal and Dracula all combined into a movie that I get to be a part of. It's such a insanely scary vision of Dracula, and I can't wait for all the people out there who think they know what their opinions are about Dracula or a Dracula movie, who were raised on maybe a different version of the vampire mythology. Like a lot of, the moviegoers now are going to be people who most of their exposure was through, the cooler, slicker, sexier kind of vampires. And now they're ready for a different take on the mythology. And Andre and, the writers showed up in perfect time to present this, because it's genuinely time to make Dracula scary again. It's like,
Hell yeah. While we're on the topic of different Draculas, let's do a quick little Dracula showdown, a Dracula bracket, a Dracket, if you will. So fang to fang, toe to toe, who would win, Lugosi versus Lee?
God, that's really a tough question. I'm gonna go with Christopher Lee, only because the savagery that his Dracula demonstrates in, oh man, Blood of Dracula, Curse of Dracula. Like there's certain films where he's just much more savagely vicious, but God, I love Bella. That's like saying who's
That's
gonna
a mean
win,
question.
your dad or your grandpa in a fist fight, you know? Like I don't want to watch my dad beat up my grandpa. Come on, Angel. That's
I'm
depressing. All right,
sorry.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Next question.
All
I
right,
got,
Lee versus Oldman.
oh, Christopher Lee. I'm sorry. Gary Oldman's awesome. He's so great. And it's such a sexy, cool, you know, oh, what a wonderful, emotional, dramatic, you know, Shakespearean almost Dracula. But no, Christopher Lee's is so much more unhinged and for lack of a better term, evil, you know.
Yeah, 100%. Although I do love Oldman as well, but these
Oh,
are all horrible questions because I would not
yeah.
answer. I wouldn't be able to pick. All right, Christopher Lee versus Max Shrek.
I mean, I'm still gonna go with Christopher Lee, even though what Max Schreck did and what I think we're doing with Last Voyage of the Demeter is the more bestial, animalistic, terrifying. But Shrek is bringing to life the Dracula from Bram Stoker, that when Dracula's very, very old and like withered and like so hungry, and so he's like a little slower and a little less able. Christopher Lee's got swagger, like he can run into a room and just like he was in the prime of his physical form when he was bringing that role to life. And man, he's so good. He's so good.
Swag.
Yeah, you go ahead. I want to see any more you've got, because I feel
Our
like we've
last
left one off
one,
the list. Okay,
Christopher Lee versus Javier Botet.
well, here we go. The time has come.
The time
It's
has
time
come.
for the new era. And this is like the movie Creed, right? It's like now it's time to dethrone Rocky. Javier's Dracula is so much more powerful. And the way that, like, if anyone out there knows or loves cats the way I do, I love cats so much. And I think they're the most incredible animals. But there's something so fucked up about when they do catch a mouse and the way they play with their food that you go, there's something just a little twisted in their primal natures. Javier and Andre, of course, with his guidance, bring to life a Dracula who gets off almost, or gets more nourishment, it seems like, out of a blood that's pumping higher. So it's not like, it's like, could Dracula just walk into the galley one day and have a buffet if he so chose? Maybe, I don't know. But the fact that he seems to get this illicit pleasure out of the toying with the food, it's so dark and gross and scary, and it adds to this level of dread for those of us who are trying to battle him, that I love it. I will say a name that oft is overlooked and who I think is just a phenomenal Dracula if you haven't seen it, and there's several others that we've left off the list, including, for no one who's ever seen the Spanish language Dracula that was made the same time that they were making Universal's Dracula, that is a film that needs to be watched. If you haven't seen it and you're a horror fan, trust me when I say, and the conditions with which they were making that film, which was overnight while, you know, the Bella Todd Browning film was being filmed, incredible. But I would point to Jack Palance. His Dracula is the version of the abusive, codependent, toxic relationship embodiment of Dracula that is so volatile and scary. You know, you think, oh, Jack Palance, Curly's gold and all that stuff, but like his Dracula is it's a tour de force, and it's rarely like seen, and I hope that it gets a resurrection at some point. But yeah, Javier all the way, and I hope he sees this interview. We'll make sure and get it to him. But I did get to talk to Javier.
I
You know
know,
about that.
actually, I know we got to go, but I want to show you this last thing. You got to talk to Javier, and also, I don't know if you've seen this yet. Can you see that?
Oh my God.
So your
Oh,
interview with Javier will be in this issue.
They haven't put that on the internet yet, have
That's
they?
not released yet, so don't show that to anybody. You're getting a sneak
Holy
peek.
fucking shit. That is so cool. That's my interview that's going to be on the cover of Fangoria magazine. Okay.
Cover story, baby, right there.
I have to go cry. I love Fangoria. I'm so grateful for the lifetime of horror joy that you've given me. I'm so grateful. My
And you're
wife just
giving
yelled
us a
up,
life
"What
time
happened?"
with
I
JoJo.
just got to see the cover of Fangoria with yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it so much. All right. I know I got to let you go. I know you have more to do, but David, always a pleasure.
Yes, thanks, Angel.
All right.
Much
Congratulations and happy
monster
Thanksgiving.
love. Bye, all the
Goodbye.
Fangorians.